the Parks, Library, and Arts Committee. We have 4 bills on the docket tonight. First is Resolution RS 2018-1260. Virtue and Roden are sponsors. This is a resolution accepting a grant from the Tennessee State Library and Archives to the Metro Government of Nashville and Daviess County, acting by and through the Nashville Public Library to provide access to and circulation of special materials formatted for individuals who are hearing impaired. Can we get a motion for discussion? Motion and second?
Second. Everyone's waiting for that.
All right. Obviously, this is a grant from the Tennessee State Library and Archives.
Right, it goes to our Equal Access Division. We actually do talking books and other services. The former name is Blind and Physically Handicapped, and we actually perform these services not just in Davidson County, but statewide. So they support that with 1 FTE and some related costs. So.
Move for approval.
Second. Yeah.
Give a plug on their website. You can volunteer to do.
That's right.
I used to do in high school.
We all have a lot of free time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
That's
opposed?
for the community Catholic.
9 in favor, 0 against. All right, the next one is ordinance number 2018-1207, an ordinance directing the termination of contract purchase agreement 3382660. This is sponsored by one Mr. Freddie O'Connell. A project management services agreement between Commonwealth Development Group, Inc. and the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. And for discussion purposes, Mr. O'Connell, could you explain to us what contract purchase agreement 38266 is?
This is a broad project management contract, but as I did in budget and financing the night, I've already, there was a motion in that committee to withdraw. I plan to withdraw this on the floor this evening.
Okay. So,
Can you share with us, Councilman O'Connell, what the implications are for parks? I'm surprised it came before our committee.
I was referred to this committee, except that they must be doing Commonwealth's contract must put them into a project management piece that has something to do with this committee. I'm not.
Fair Park, yeah.
okay, so I guess we have a motion to approve, but he will be moving to
No, I
withdraw.
think we can move to withdraw.
Is that what we're needing? So you're wanting a motion to withdraw?
I think a motion to withdraw. from
Motion to
the
withdraw.
committee is,
Second.
appropriate.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thanks, Freddie. All right. The next one is 2018-1209, an ordinance granting the purchasing agent the authority to extend the term of contract number 318415 for the Centennial Park Master Plan Design and Engineering Services. I know we had a big discussion last night about this, and I think there's some more questions that might want to be asked or answered. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Is there anybody here from Parks? And can you kind of just tell us what's going on with the Centennial Park, the master planning, and how this is being extended, and the funds that it's going to take to continue to do this, and what we're seeing done over the next 4 or 5 years with this contract?
I can tell you what I know. I'm here in lieu of Tim Nate, who's actually managing the project, but basically this is a 50-50 match between the Conservancy and Metro Parks, and to date, that particular contract has been paid almost $3 million, 2.9, and 1.6 of that has been paid by Metro, and the rest was picked up by the Conservancy. The intent of the contract is to continue the continuity of design, and it was started out with the firm Nelson Bird Woltz, which is a, I think they're out of South Carolina design firm that
Charlottesville.
Virginia.
Virginia that started the design, and the intent is to continue with the same firm just for continuity's sake. So they are working currently, I think, on phase 2. It's a total estimated cost of about $10 million, and
Phase 2 is $10 million, or the whole thing?
estimated cost of about 10. I think that's the whole thing.
How many phases are there?
I think that's phase 2.
That's just phase 2.
Huh?
Can I get some clarity? Is phase 2 $10 million, or the entire? How many phases are there?
All I know is that they've completed the first phase, and phase 2 construction is bidding and is out to bid right now. So I'm going to say that phase 2 is the $10 million.
Okay. How much
Where's
was
that
phase
coming
1?
from?
I'm not sure how much phase 1 was.
Where's that money coming from?
Assuming half of it's coming from
Metro.
capital fund, yeah.
And the
Capital
Conservancy
improvement
match.
budget?
So, some of the questions that I had posed for those of you who were not in budget and finance yesterday was just to get a kind of a broader understanding of, there's the master planning piece, right, which I assume includes phase 1, 2, and 3.
Correct.
Then there's, the implementation and bidding. So say Hodgson and Douglas, right, did phase 1 that's down near the front, near West End, where you daylighted the spring and the Musician's Corner and all that, which is lovely. So I guess what I was still unclear on as I reflected on my notes from Mr. Natch's remarks was to be extending the master planning contract for the purpose of continuity when the 3 phases have already been designed. I guess I'm just wondering, I think Metro entered into this 50-50 match, right, for 3 phases, and I appreciate that they're moving along, but, to be extending this master planning contract, I guess I was unclear. Like, has phase 3 not been
The whole
Master plan?
The master plan for the whole park was done, but there are tweaks to each individual phase.
Okay, so we are extending a contract for purposes of tweaking a master plan, but then we, Metro, we're still paying for half of it?
That is my understanding.
I'm gonna move to defer it.
Yeah,
So I know more about
second,
it.
yeah.
All right, so we got a motion to defer in a second, and Kathleen, you are.
I've got a little bit more discussion. I was going to save this for a later bill on our agenda, but I feel that maybe we should bring it up now, and I'm happy to grandstand it again later. Sorry, Colby. So in this committee, as I'm directing this to Parks, we have repeatedly asked for an update on Councilman Pardue's park in his district. We have not been given any of that information whatsoever. Recently, he was told that it's not going out to bid because it's not a good time to bid. How are we fast tracking what we are, the park at Capitol View that we're going to be voting on in just a few minutes? We're continuing to spend money on Centennial Park when he has been working for, I think most of us know, Larry, you were here last term, years on this. And you can tell, not satisfied here because it has been, I don't know how many meetings, y'all, that we have requested this information. And I'm going to make a formal request. I've discussed this with our chair. I haven't had time to draft it up. Hopefully our staff can get us a letter. I'm to the point of saying I don't want to vote on any more parks legislation until we get answers for Councilman Pardue, his constituents in that park. Because there is that council district with no parks in it. And this is a lot of money to be spending on one park that is gorgeous, and I love it, and I enjoy going there. But this park came before us in our first term, and Councilman Cooper had questions on it, so did a lot of us, and this is being fast-tracked, yet Councilman Pardue and his constituents keep getting backburnered, and I don't know if it's because they're further out in the county or what, but I would like to have answers at the next council meeting, or I know personally I'm going to have problems continuing to vote to support parks legislation. So that is my
And I've
grandstand.
got a community center that's not ADA compatible,
Exactly. So
and I've been working on it for 4 years.
If there is nothing else, we have a motion to defer in a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? 9-0. Bill number 201812.
You want 1 or 2?
One meeting, do you want to go 2 meetings? It's up to y'all, I'll let y'all.
you know what? Let's go to 2 meetings so they can get us the information on Doug Pardue's park next meeting.
2 meetings.
2 meetings it
Thank y'all.
is.
If I can,
Bill 20181216. Hey Freddie, can you close that door? Bill number 20181216, an ordinance approving an agreement between the Metro Governing Capital Joint View Venture concerning the construction of public park improvements and the donation of a parcel of property. I need a motion and a second for discussion purposes.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize, I'm going to have to go to the Rules
Councilman
Committee.
Cooper, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a quick question for Matt, if you didn't mind, as a point of clarity. In the CAFR published last June through June 30 of last year, it has the footnote that of the $3.5 million of the payment on this project, $950,000 was expended in the last fiscal year. I'm assuming then, but it was not explicit as when the $2.5 million was going to be specifically expended. And is that in the coming fiscal year?
That is this amount. That is this amount through the participation agreement.
But in which year?
I guess it would be expended.
I mean, is it-
The participation agreement would be voted on in the council meeting this evening. The park is essentially going to, so it's being constructed, is my understanding now.
So I'm just, and which year is Metro writing the check in under this plan?
As soon as the participation is agreed to and then the services are delivered. So to answer your question, it would be in the coming fiscal year.
So it would be in the 19 fiscal year. It would be $2.5 million in the 19 fiscal year.
I believe so. Let me I confirm that, but I mean, the park is sort of prepared to go, is my understanding, and so that unless there are some unexpected delays in the construction of the park, I would.
Because the 950 was really in the previous fiscal.
Correct.
Or one back was in the year ending June 30th of last year.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, that is my
All right.
understanding.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Councilman, I gotta go
Yes,
to.
sir.
Yeah. Since before we go, Councilman O'Connell is here. I know this is in your district. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it?
No, other than that I support the bill, I think this is one of those opportunities to deliver urban green space at cost made even more reasonable by the fact that we don't have private investment that will be a Metro Parks asset.
Yeah. Councilor Henderson, I know you and I, didn't we go walk this property? Was that the property you and I went and walked that time? Or was it with the Greenway Commission? Did you go with us that time? I think the Greenways, we went down and walked down that property down. It's right next to the railroad tracks, right off Charlotte down there. So, and that's where it is, right, Freddie? Is this right next to the railroad tracks on Charlotte? Okay.
Well, yeah, so there's a V that opens up kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right
talking about.
Between 10th Avenue Circle and 11th, and then comes right up to Joe Johnson. And then, and so.
And it goes around and connects all the way. It's supposed to go
Right,
around
so
to the connect in the
One
back.
of those rail lines, I mean, basically it then runs east
To the
west.
Gulch, and it's Gulch, yeah, I know it, yeah. So it's the connection, it's the
Right
connection.
around the corner, it's basically wedged in there between First Baptist, Capitol, and what the rest of the Capitol development, but we will have a green lane.
Well, and this is a good space for me, it's a good space for parks because there is no green space in that area at all.
Asphalt.
It's just asphalt.
Gulch residents came to me 3 years ago and said, where is our green space? And this is basically the best effort to get that for them right now.
It's present all day. Oh, pardon.
Can you remind me how Lifeway is at all involved in this?
This piece,
No.
to Matt's point in budget and finance, we did some infrastructure improvements as part of that participation, but this is a parks-only piece.
Correct. There has been $646,000 raised from private sources to fund a portion of the construction. That primarily has come from HCA, but Health Stream, Healthways, Health Stream, Health Sing, Health Stream, which will be locating their headquarters on this property as well, has contributed a chunk of that. Boyle Investments has contributed a chunk of that. I believe Lifeway may have contributed some of the dollars. I don't know the answer before the meeting.
I don't particularly like the hiring practices of Lifeway, and I don't want to. I want to make sure that it's clear that this park is based on the non-discrimination policies of the Metro Parks and not that of the employers that are funding it.
Absolutely, as Councilman O'Connell referenced, this asset upon completion will be turned over to Metro Parks, will become property of Metro Parks, will be administered by Metro Parks, and will have all of the rules determined by Metro Parks, and that was an extraordinarily important thing for us as well.
Thank you.
We agree.
Yeah,
Excellent point.
that was something we articulated in budget
So
and
we're not
finance
spending more
yesterday.
money on it, right? Because we've already,
This is it,
we bought it and that's it. So how much is this?
2.5 million.
Yeah.
What?
2.5. So we're reimbursing them. They are completing the work through private providers, right, to do the park. And then Metro is reimbursing them. So this is another $2.5 million.
This
So
is
we paid
in
$1
the
million
capital.
for that land, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's a $3.5 million value to the city at the end of the day.
Well,
do they,
$3.5 million cost, I would argue the value.
Are they gonna bank that?
Well done.
so what did, Matt, what was the supposed value of that donation, that skinny strip there that they
On our books.
contributed to us?
I don't know I don't think we've ascribed a value to that
Okay.
donation.
It's not
But
taxed, right?
I can try and get it on a
Was that
per acre basis.
contributed or acquired
That
or
was,
what?
that was contributed.
I thought all we had to do
And
was
they are
buy the top and
constructing
never
the greenway at their own cost, is my understanding. The $2.5 million with the $646,000 are going for the park improvements, which are there.
And so we contributed this land.
We bought the land.
We bought a portion of it, they contributed the rest of it. So
What was that split?
We acquired 1.26 acres. I don't know what the total acreage of that is, but whatever it is minus 1.26 was what their contribution
And
was.
who did we purchase that from? The state?
We purchased 1.26 acres from Boyle Investments
For $1 million.
for, yes, correct.
So, I'm sorry, so Boyle Investments,
Bypass me again.
and
I'm
that's,
sorry, that's not true. Northwestern. Northwestern was the owner, Boyle is the constructor. It's from Northwestern.
okay, so.
Northwestern Properties.
Okay, so Northwestern Properties is the owner developer of Capitol View.
Yes, ma'am.
And so they actually own land on the opposite side of the railroad line.
Yes, ma'am.
So we bought the land from them.
We bought a portion of the land, yes.
Okay.
And they contributed the rest of the land.
They contributed some of the land.
Correct.
And now we are paying them to
Build the
design,
park.
implement, or just to build it? Or did
Just-
Metro design it, or what was that?
Design and build.
Okay.
The Parks Department, in my understanding, was a party to them in that design, but they bore the cost of the design.
See, what I recall is we bought it and we paid $1 million for
And that
it
was
as
it?
part of the package deal for Lifeway to build over there. I don't remember nothing about we're gonna have to pay more money for
Additional dollars.
park amenities.
That, I
I don't
remember
recall
that as well.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, because it was,
It was discussed at the time, and these funds were included in the last capital spending plan.
Yeah, the fiscal analysis said that, we're altering this agreement because it is now Boyle, Northwestern, whomever is designing and building the park, whereas the original intent was for Metro to design and build the park. The values remain the same as far as the monetary value in the contract, but we are flipping who's doing what.
Correct, and
Is that
there's
right?
two reasons for that. One,
Okay.
the estimate is that the construction cost on the park is $1 million less, and they've contributed $646,000 to the construction of the park. So we're getting a better park, the argument is, a better park for less money, but we are still getting the entirety of the park, which was what was planned from the beginning.
Okay. And so I asked these questions in Budget and Finance yesterday that are a little more appropriate to parks, but it's kind of in line with what Councilor Van Rees was speaking to. You know, sometimes in other cities, you kind of get into this awkward space where
One person talk at a time.
corporations make a contribution in partnership, public-private, to a park, and thus, whether, in writing or not, they feel they have a certain entitlement to that park for their purposes, and then so they start being kind of afforded special privileges to close down this whole side of the park for their purpose, or close down or take, or close the greenway because they're having some special something or other. So, Councilman O'Connell, can you kind of speak to that? I mean, I know that's sort of a larger kind of parks policy piece, but
It's harder to
how we're going to
speak
navigate that.
authoritatively to that. I will tell you, I am among the people that is most frustrated that we don't have more reliable greenway access through both First Tennessee and Ascend in particular. I think this is, to Mr. Minch's point yesterday, far less likely to fall prey to that because I don't think this park is intended to be a tourist destination as much.
Yeah, he made that point yesterday, yep.
We could seek to get some policy statement to that effect at the Parks Board, but I don't know what else council could do right now to ensure that, but I am aggressively interested in that myself. So.
Yeah.
And Freddie, just as an aside, as Parks Chair, I get several calls a week about the Ascend Amphitheater and the bike lanes and stuff getting closed off whenever things are going on over Ascend. And it's just continual, and I've made contacts.
I get them too.
Okay, I'm just making sure but I get them as well.
In the ballpark as well.
Yeah, so I just think that's a concern that we just want to make sure that doesn't happen anymore, so we don't,
I think this committee is mindful of the fact that greenways are parks, but they're also transportation.
Yeah.
So, it's not just like, hey, you're closing off this part of the park. No, you're not letting somebody get to and from work in a way other than a car. So, as long as you're kind of mindful of that and comfortable with it, and we're telling Mr. Wilshire that's something that we care about and we understand what the agreement is. Mr. Wilshire, can you speak to kind of getting this worked out to have that access? And there's something in the MOU about that, about nobody's saying they're going to do it. Is that another one of our CSX is not very friendly sort of issues, or does that relate to CSX at all, or is that just Metro right away under that bridge?
I'm not familiar with that issue. Let me,
It's in the MOU. It just basically says, Metro will do its best to secure that, and something about,
CSX.
So I get a little worried when CSX is involved
Sure.
with anything that relates to going under or over train tracks, because we saw that in my district where it was an act of Congress to construct a tunnel in the Warner Parks, and we had everything that we needed. But
Yeah.
then because somebody needed to drive across a train trestle to work a digger thing back in, we had to wait, half a year more.
You have to buy the easement.
yeah,
That's what they forced us. That's what they did at work.
there's an existing sidewalk under the bridge now, so I'll have to
So we
look. I'll have to
probably already
look
have
at
an
it.
easement under there. Do you know
Yes,
about
that's
that?
correct. Once the tunnel is in, they have no regulation over how we go back and forth through the tunnel. It's the crossing the tracks that was the issue.
But it's an existing tunnel.
That's correct. That's an
Okay.
existing tunnel. So we shouldn't have, I can't promise that CSX wouldn't contradict me on that, but we shouldn't have an issue there.
Yep.
okay.
Federal.
Okay, that's
All
my
right,
question.
so it's been moved and seconded, moved for approval.
I think that there was
Did you
further
have some more?
discussion.
I'm sorry, my apologies.
These guys are talking to each other, and so I know that on tape, people are going to want to know what you were talking about. So if you have a concern
I
or
am
an angst,
concerned.
then I want to.
Because when we voted to buy that property, I didn't know we were gonna have to pay for all these improvements originally. And this goes back to what I said before. I've been fighting to get my community center redone for 4 years. Councilman O'Connor knows that and everything. I don't have nothing against this, but I've still got some questions about it, because that's not the way I remember the deal, and we were supposed to put more money into this. That's just my opinion. And I got more questions than answers.
I can, unfortunately, this might be a case where it was just insufficiently communicated. I think in this part, with this agreement coming up after it had already been in the capital spending plan, I have known about the 2.5 million piece for a long time before tonight. So
Yeah.
I apologize if that piece was
Councilman
not clear
Hager,
to council.
I do think it's I'm going to the legislation, but I do think that MOU is appended to the legislation that speaks to the original commitment of $2.5 million. And I'm trying to find it now.
Yeah.
Well, she's looking it up. Are those? Is it really going to be stars there? Could you make sure they do the right stars? Like,
That's the first I've seen
1216
that.
okay,
That graphic,
because that just bothers that.
just so y'all know. I don't
they're
know that
gonna-
we've seen the design for that.
TriStar trouble.
This graphic is intended to illustrate the connection of the
Okay.
greenway behind the
Since somebody else is designing it,
Right.
if you could eyeball that, great.
So I'm sorry, this is on second reading,
Embarrassing.
1216, you said?
Start to start.
216. Okay, here it is. Whereas approved a participation agreement addressing construction of public infrastructure improvements to be completed in connection with Capital View development downtown Nashville. Whereas as authorized by the CV ordinance, which was back in March of 2016, is that right, Mr. Wilshire?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, Capital View Joint Venture donated to the metropolitan government an approximately 1.26 parcel of property be used as a public park. And whereas the CV ordinance contemplated that the metropolitan government complete certain improvements, the initial park components to the park property to make it suitable for public use, and whereas the Metropolitan Council appropriated $2.5 million for construction of the initial park components, and whereas pursuant to the agreement attached as Exhibit 1 of the ordinance, Capital View proposes to complete these initial components. So effectively, we already appropriated the $2.5 for the purpose of executing that park or doing it ourselves. We've not gotten to a place where we have done that, and so now they are proposing to do it, and we are going to pay them that same $2.5.
Yes, ma'am.
You indicated, however, that they can do it for less, so why are we still paying them $2.5?
No, it's actually a much more expansive
They're
park
gonna
now.
do more things
But because
for
in
the same amount.
In addition to that, they actually have raised, as I indicated, $646,000 to contribute to additional improvements to the park itself.
Okay, from the corporations that
Yes,
are
ma'am.
adjacent. Also pursuant to the agreement, Capital View proposes to donate an approximately 0.4 tract of real property to the metropolitan government. We assume maybe that's this linear
That's the Greenway piece.
portion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So what's our max out of pocket?
2.5.
the same 2.5 that it was in March of 2016.
And that was already in the capital
It's already approved.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
budget?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when was it put in the capital improvement budget?
17?
Two or 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Hello, Mr. Kendall.
All right.
All right, Mr. Chair.
All right, we ready to vote? Yes, we are. All in favor? Any opposed? And unless we have anything else, motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.
Having a party.
Downtown park. Is it in? It's almost in your district. Right down on Charlotte. Beside the railroad track. It's in Freddie's district.
Nobody.
I know we know.
Yeah.
Thank you for having that ready.
Yeah. Thank you, Angie.
That was important.
Yeah,
you
one
bring
other
it.
question that I was going to ask is, Mr. Wilshire, do you know here, I'd ask Parks, how are they going to effectuate the crossing
Yeah, the sorbet
5 lanes of Charlotte Pike with